Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and hello everyone. Before we start, I would like to kindly remind everyone of few things in advance. Number one, this talk today can be streamed live on UiTM Sabah YouTube channel and is compulsory for all final year students of diploma and degree. Number two, if you have any questions, don't hesitate and feel free to post them in the comment section. Thirdly, at the end of this talk, there will be evaluation form to be answered by all attendees, so please give some of your time to complete it. We highly appreciate your feedback. And lastly, to let everyone be informed, this slot today is under the E-MODUL Kepimpinan Bangunan Kerjaya E-MPK and organized by the Unit Kerjaya dan Counseling and Unit Kepimpinan Pelajar Bahagian Harwa Pelajar UiTM Sabah, and the objective of this module is to inform, equip, and prepare UiTM students with the latest information on job market and employment trends, and secondly is the strategy to ace the job search process about self-awareness, personal branding and self-marketing tools, and medium. And lastly is to nail the job interview. That's all for the housekeeping note. Our program will start in just a few more minutes. Thank you. Thank you to everyone who attend this talk today. My name is Maslina Jefferdin, a final year student of Diploma UiTM Sabah, and I will be your moderator for tonight. For your information, this talk today is compulsory for all final year students of diploma and degree of UiTM Sabah, and it can be watched stream live on UiTM Sabah YouTube channel. So do invite your friends because sure we will gain a lot of useful knowledge and sharing from this talk today. And we have a very special guest speaker tonight, a person who is very well experienced as a human resource manager and also a very influential content creator. So let's welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Nizam Ahmad, or also more friendly known as Pak Tam. So how are you, Pak Tam?
Hi, Alhamdulillah, I'm doing great, Aslina. I'm so
Alhamdulillah,
happy to
Pak
be here
Tam.
today. Thank you.
Happy to meet you too. So thank you for accepting our invitation to be the guest speaker of this talk today. I am so excited, and I am sure that everyone is excited too, to hear sharing from Pak Tam on our topic today, bridging the talent gap. So I'm sure that everyone is ready now. So let's start our talk without further ado. So I will be giving a few questions to Pak Tam, and Pak Tam will give his thoughts and sharing about it. So my first question is, the topic of our talk today is very interesting, which is about bridging the talent gap. So, what is actually a talent gap? And as a human resource manager, I believe Pak Tam is the right and suitable person to talk about this. So, what is actually a talent gap? Why it is important to be addressed, and how we can effectively bridge it?
Hi, Assalamualaikum. Thank you, Maslina. Thank you for that question. So first and foremost, uh, thank you very much to UiTM Cawangan Sabah Kota Kinabalu for inviting me here. I think now UiTM Sabah or Kota Kinabalu to be specific has a soft spot lah in my heart, right? So I think we have a close connection now since last year. I'm really happy with this connection because we are actually helping each other now. However, tonight, whatever that I'm going to share today, this is just some disclaimer. Whatever that I'm going to share today is based on my personal capacity. I did not represent my company, I did not represent my employer, but I represent my own initiative here. I call it GRADE, Graduate Readiness for Employment and Training. So some background of great initiative which I started during MCO in 2020, right? During that free time, I started this initiative is also because of this talent gap. All right. I started this initiative because I realized that there's a gap, all right, between the fresh graduates, the young graduates who graduated from the university versus the employment requirement. All right. So basically, talent gap is actually a big topic, lah. All right. And employment is more than just about fresh graduates. We are also talking about who do we have in our employment, the employees punya demographic background. Uh, for example, in this slide, you can see right the skills and the competencies that we have among our employees in comparison to what is required for the job. All right, that's what we meant by talent gap. So when we're doing talent gap analysis, we're looking at, are we there yet in terms of the skills and competencies? Are we able to catch up with whatever required from the job or even whatever required by the industry? Okay, so the technology the new technology is a fast pace punya, it's a fast pace punya development. All right, so every day you might hear a new apps coming out, a new technology coming out perhaps, right? So are we there? Okay, those days we haven't we know nothing about TikTok, right? So nowadays everyone are on TikTok, for example, right? Everyone is on TikTok. And then those days there is no internet, for example, right? So again, even during the PKP, right, the MCO, when we were all locked down in our own house, right, we were actually shocked because we are not prepared for it. All right, even the work from home arrangement, we are not prepared for it. And at that point of time, we realized that, oh, some of us are even not ready to use Microsoft Teams. They don't even know how to use Microsoft Teams. Some of us don't even know how to cook, right? So you have to learn how to cook from Instagram, from TikTok and all, right? So that's what we meant by talent gap. So we realize that we are not there yet. All right, we are not there yet. Then we suddenly realize that there's a new requirement for that job. There is a new requirement for that area. So how we close that gap? All right. So that's in terms of the definition of talent gap. All right. And talent ni, what you mean by talent is actually a natural ability. Okay, it's not something that you can develop. It's not something that you can train. When we talk about talent, it's your natural ability. Okay, literally it means natural ability. If you can sing, you have that talent to be a singer. If you can dance, means that you have that talent to be a dancer. All right. So when we talk about talent gap, it means that your natural ability. So that's why if you're not able to close that gap, then we have to train you. We have to develop you. So if you don't have that talent, then we need to train you. We need to develop you. All right. So that's what we meant by talent gap. Okay. So that's what we meant by talent gap. Okay. It happens because of this discrepancy or this different requirement, or somehow the requirement is increasing, or the requirement is getting bigger and wider, right, from that job or from that job expectation. But from my point of view, when we talk about gap, this is my own definition, GAP, right? G is growth mindset. For me, it's growth mindset. It's also about agility, adaptability, and also talking about performance and potential. So when we talk about gap, okay, these are the gap that normally we experience, or the gap that we have lah, normally. Right? Do you have that growth mindset? Right? So what is growth mindset? This is someone who believe that their talents can be developed. Okay, remember just now, right? If you think that you cannot sing, can we train you to sing? Right? Like Maslina tonight, right? Maybe she can be modeling, for example, a top supermodel. Do you believe you have that talent, Maslina? Can you do catwalk? Perhaps she does not believe that, but we can train her. Perhaps we can develop her to become a supermodel. So that's why we meant by growth mindset. If Maslina actually not, you know, she will say that, no, I don't want to be a supermodel. I don't want to be this. I just want to stay at home. So it means that you don't have that growth mindset. You don't know whether you can do that or not before you even actually trying to do it. So if you block your mind, you block your uh, perspective to try something new, then there will become there will it will create a gap. Okay, there will be a gap. All right, perhaps Maslina can be more than just an MC for tonight. Perhaps Maslina can become the next Siti Nurhaliza in the future. For example, I'm just giving examples so that analogy so that we better understand what is growth mindset. So it comes from our mindset. Okay, and the second one is agility and adaptability. So agility is the ability and willingness to learn from experience. Okay, we experience it, we try it, and then we apply that learning to perform successfully under new situation. For example, after this, Masina maybe she tried to go to karaoke and sing, and then suddenly she realized that, oh, I can sing. So maybe I can try in the next program. I don't want to become an MC anymore. I want to become a performer. I want to do a special performance. So now Masina is agile and adaptable to a new situation. Takkan sampai bila-bila nak jadi MC, betul tak Masina? Dah ada complete package, why don't you become a singer after this, for example? Then you become agile. But if you don't want to accept, even though you went to karaoke and then you realize that your voice is good, but then you said, I don't want to lah, I don't want to become a singer. Means that you are not agile, you're not adaptable to new situation. Even though the new job, for example, next week lah, ada gala dinner for UiTM. People are asking who can sing, but still you don't want to volunteer, even though you know that you can sing. So you're not agile, you're not adaptable to that. So there's a gap there. Yeah, there will be gap there. And last but not least, it's about potential and performance. This is the people or person that who has the ability that exceeds the need of their job title in the workplace. Okay, for example, myself as an HR manager. Okay, yes, I'm a HR manager, but my role, whatever that I'm doing, I can do beyond HR manager. So that's what we call as potential. Okay, what I'm doing tonight is not my job. This is not a paid job. Okay, this is not part of my job description. But when I'm doing this, people see the potential in you. Okay, people see that, oh, he can do more than just an HR manager. Like Maslina, if she become the supermodel in the future, become a singer in the future, people will see that, oh, Maslina has a potential to be someone else in the future, someone successful in the future. Again, it translates from your own potential. So these are the three items that I see. If you do not embrace this growth mindset, agility, adaptability, performance, and potential, then there will be a talent gap. Okay, whatever I'm giving just now is just a simple example so that you understand. Along the way, later on throughout the session, I will give you some example on some of the growth mindset or skills or competencies, how students can become agile, what are the competencies required, how you can actually perform better so that you can discover your own potential, okay, so that you can reach to the limit, right? You know your limit and then you even push to the limit, right? So those are the things that we're going to discuss tonight. So as long as you understand what is talent gap, what is gap actually, and what creates the gap, then you'll be able to follow through the next discussion after this. I think that's all from me, Maslina.
All right, thank you so much, Pak Tang, for the very informative and useful sharing. I really like the acronym, which is GFP, which I think is very interesting. And what I can summarize from the first question, the answer from the first question is we need to recognize our own strengths because each individual is unique. And if we are willing to go and step out of our comfort zone, then we will become more agile. And I think that is really clear, a very clear and great explanation. But I really want to know deeper about the skills that graduates or students need. So that takes us to our second question, which is about what are the top soft skills that a graduate or person should have, and how best can they acquire these soft skills? Over to you, Pak Tam.
Okay, thank you, Masina. As I discussed just now, those I'm giving, those just now is only some context on what is talent gap, right? So I found this article from Forbes, kan? Forbes ke Forbes ke macam mana nak sebut tak tahu kan. So this is a publisher, right, on the 10 critical competencies for today's workforce, all right? And then I simplify that 10 competencies into 5, okay? And I noticed the acronym is ABCDE. Okay, remember when we started to learn as a kids, right? We learn from ABC. We learn how to sing ABC song, right? So I think as a fresh graduates, you need to embrace and learn this ABCDE as well, because I believe this is still relevant. This is the top five competencies demanded by employers this year. Number one, A is agile and resilience. All right, we're talking about agile a little bit just now from Mastina. When we talk about agile, is you are trying something new. You go beyond your comfort zone, right? So as a fresh graduate, how do you actually demonstrate these agile and resilient competencies? Normally, we look at your core curriculum achievements, for example. Are you someone who are, ready to try something new? Are you someone who keep doing the same program? Are you the one who keep, joining the same activities, all right, the same clubs, right, for example? So that's why when I met some of the university students, I asked them, why do you want to do this annually? Why don't you change? Last year you're doing this, so next year why don't you change to something new? Why you want to follow the tradition? Because once you start following the tradition, you say that, oh, senior have been doing this way. That's where, you started, uh, you will no longer become agile and resilient, because you keep following other people footsteps. You're not creating your own original ways of doing things, right? So if you can try something new even at university, that's what we meant by agile resilience. Same goes to when you do a final year project, or you do some assignments, right? You don't always choose an easy topic, easy project. Try something new. Try something that have never been published anywhere, for example. Right? I know it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult, but why don't we try? If it's not successful, at least you learn that, okay, this is not a successful one. Then you come up with the second proposal. Okay, normally you will see a lot of agile resilience among PhD graduates lah. PhD graduate, they have to refine the topic again and again and again, right? The supervisor changed the topic again and again, right? The supervisor changed the approach and all. Then you have to be agile and resilience. Okay, that's what we meant by agile and resilience. Okay, so how you get it? Try something new. During my years in my universities, right? So Batam always, every year I join different club. Every year I join a different setting at all altogether. First year I joined debate and public speaking. Second year I joined the faculty program. Third year I joined the college representative council. And then final year I joined cultural, because I just want to have fun during my final year. Just join cultural and dance and sing and all. All right. So when you try different variety type of curriculum, you actually challenge your comfort level. Okay, then you will see whether which one you like the most, which one you are not good at. So from the agility and resilience, you actually learn about yourself. You have more self-awareness actually. Okay, that's number one. A. B is building collaborative relationship. How well you can work with people, how you can call people to work together, how you ask people to collaborate. Okay, if you are a president of a club or society, for example, can you actually rally everyone to achieve the same result for that club? Or are you the one who actually becomes so bossy? You just give instruction to people. You have to do this, to do this. Now, if you're only giving instruction, you're actually not building a collaborative relationship. Okay. So how you bring people together, how you make sure people come and join you. Okay. And next one is C, critical thinking and creativity. This is someone who can actually convey or translate whatever in their mind into a proper communication, either verbal or writing. All right. You have something in mind, but you're not able to converse it well. Okay. You're not able to speak up about it. You're not able to write about it. So it means that you did not challenge your critical thinking yet. You only have a lot of ideas, but you're not able to deliver, you're not able to convey, you're not able to translate the message to someone else. Right? If you have that, normally those with critical thinking and creativity, those are actually involved in debate or competitions, for example, debate and competitions. Because you have to challenge each other, right? You have to challenge each other, and then those who can do montages, who can actually run this live stream tonight. These are the one who can actually translate from ideas into actions. These are the people who we consider as someone who has critical thinking and creativity. So if you involve in all of these activities, right? So inshallah, you will have this criteria C, this competence. D is data literacy and digital dexterity. I know because technology is is in a fast pace nowadays, right? There's always new technology every day. So we did not certain technology we know. Even me myself, after 15 years of working experience, I don't consider myself as an expert or advanced in Microsoft Excel. But somehow I surprised some of the young graduates' resume. They put their Microsoft Excel as advanced. Wow. Okay. But even me myself, even though I was certified by Microsoft in advanced Microsoft Excel, but I did not declare myself, I did not, claim myself as an expert or advanced in Excel, because I know that there's a lot more to learn, there's a lot more to explore, right? What we meant by data literacy here and digital dexterity here is how you embrace new technology, how you are ready to try new technology, how you are actually willing to try something new. Those days you were using Microsoft PowerPoint, but in the future or now we are using Microsoft Power BI. Can you change from Microsoft PowerPoint to Microsoft Power BI? Those days when you do video making, you use Microsoft, you use Video Maker, right? And then you start learning about macro Flash at the point of time, Flash, Macromedia. And then now what else? There are a lot more. Even now AI can do montages for you, can do montage for you, can do on your own. They can do on its own. Are you able to embrace that? We can see that even from your resume. If you're not able to change your background of your picture, right? Your picture in the resume, right, is still blue in background. It means that you did not know the new technology. Do you know that a new technology now you can change your profile photo? You can change the background color of your profile picture. You can make it transparent. You can do filter for your face. You don't have to wear makeup anymore. I don't know whether Masina today is wearing makeup or is only a filter. We don't know. But if you haven't tried it, it means that you're not there in terms of the digital dexterity. Okay, even more data literacy. Data literacy is understanding data, how well you are in managing data. If you're good in Excel, then put it in your resume. Those are the competencies that we're looking at. And last but not least is empathy and respect. Some people said that the young generation is a bit arrogant, they are clueless, so that's why they become uh, apa kita panggil ya, keras kepala kan, hard-headed kan, I don't know kan, because they don't know what they don't know. Okay, they don't know what they don't know, so they thought that that's the right way of doing things, so they don't want to change. So those with empathy and respect are people or young graduates who can actually listen to others and also respect the decision and then change the way they do things. All right, have some empathy on how you understand other people, how you can actually respond better to other people. So those competencies, empathy, respect, you can get it from volunteering activities, join CSR, you can become a mentor, tutoring, try teach other people, then you will learn how to manage your empathy. If you can teach other people well, sabar jadi lecturer ni kena banyak sabar kan. So the best example is a lecturer lah, tutor kan. Sabar nak mengajar student, bukan semua student sama kan. So if you can become a good lecturer, it means that you have a good empathy lah. Okay, so those are the 5 competency and how you achieve it through curriculum activities or through your daily life at the university. You can start from now. Those days during my university years, I just doing it without knowing what are the competencies I'm doing. No, it's okay. You don't have to know what are the competencies that you are trying to get, but you just try. Along the way, now after 15 years, 10 years, then I realized, oh, that's what I did when I joined public speaking. Now it, it creates a better nizam lah, a better part time now kan, because I joined cultural club. So now I have some creativity in my presentation, for example, right? It triggers my creativity punya nila mood, right? So when you join variety of activities, you become active in curriculum, not just for the sake of doing it. I know now university bagi merit kan. When you join curriculum, you dapat merit. Not just for the sake of merit. Join because you want to challenge yourself. You want to see whether is this for you or not. Okay. Then along the ways, after 5 or 10 years along the way, you will realize that, oh, you actually have all this A, B, C, D, E from that experience. So you must experience, you must try. Only then you will acquire, you will learn this A, B, C, D, E. Okay, that's all, Mas Rina.
Okay. Thank you so much, Pak Tam. Once again, Pak Tam give us answer in a very interesting acronym, which is ABCDE. So hopefully everyone remember those five important competencies, and let's start to have them in ourselves. So I remember one of my lecturers said to me that university is not only the place where we learn, but it on based on textbooks or syllabus, but it is also a place for us to gain something that only can be obtained through practical, which means through experience. So that is so true. And by joining organizations or by joining clubs at university, we can not only just to get married, like Pak Tam said, but also to step out of the comfort zone, get to know what are our interests, and shine our potential. Because this is like a trial and error process where we see where is actually our interest, where is actually our potential. So I also joined a public speaking club during my semester one and semester two, and it is really helpful for me. At first, actually, I joined it because other clubs are full, but then I realized that it was the best decision I ever made because it has shaped me to become more confident, to be more fluent in speaking. So don't be afraid. Just challenge yourself and get ready to learn. Have that willingness to learn something new. You might never know what are the potential that you have within you. You just have to unleash it. So let's now moving on to the third question. But before I would like to give this question to Pak Tam, I would like to give some sharing. So actually, last year, but I also attended like seminar or a talk by Pak Tam, which is about get lit on LinkedIn. If Pak Tam remember, from that moment, I started to have the realization about what is actually LinkedIn. And now I do have LinkedIn profile finally after that realization. And I also follow Pak Tam on LinkedIn. And there I learned so many tips. It's like if Instagram you can get to know about your friends updates about other updates from your siblings, your members, but on LinkedIn it's like a professional social media. So I want to ask this question to Patnam specifically because Patnam is also a content creator. So Patnam has proven to us that social media is very helpful, not just to be able to gain better networking, but also for personal branding. So, how can we actually level up our personal branding on social media? And why does it really matter? Over to you, Patam.
Thank you, Maslina. I'm happy that you learn a lot from you learn something lah from last year LinkedIn workshop. I quickly go to your LinkedIn just now and connect with you. Kita tak connect lagi dekat LinkedIn. So I saw your profile. Okay, that's good. You started something on LinkedIn. So at least the first step is there. The first step is always to take the first step lah. All right. I saw that you reposted some of the things. Okay, that's good. All right, and your profile is quite complete. Let me share with you why we need to have this online presence. Or we're talking about content creation, about personal branding, LinkedIn, TikTok, and so on. This happened not overnight. All right, started from MCO in 2020 when we were all locked down. That's why I start discover TikTok. I try to use TikTok. Right, I try to create content. When we talk about content, we try to understand our audience first. What do they want from a good video, right? What makes a good video? What makes video go viral or FYP in TikTok? So then you learn from that experience. My first one or two videos is not FYP pun kan in TikTok. And then I learned something, oh, this is the behavior of TikTok algorithm. Then I change my content. So it makes me understand the audience and algorithm better. All right, when we start doing it. All right. So this process is actually I'm trying to understand my USP In marketing, we're talking about unique selling point. Okay, in marketing, it means how you can become niche, how you create your own niche, how you create your own specialty, how you create your own brand. In the end, it give a brand to you lah. So this USP actually you can get it from these three items. You identify what is your greatest strength and skills. So that's why when I started using TikTok, because I like video editing and I like voiceover as well. I like doing voiceover. So that's why I started doing TikTok, because I think that that's one of my greatest strength and skills. All right. And then also I like to write. I like writing, right? So those days I used to write blog, and that's why I started writing on LinkedIn. So that's why I learned, oh, this is one of another skill that I have, right? And then I go to the second item, strength and skills that others lacks. And then I start to find, is there any HR practitioner in Malaysia that can do TikTok and LinkedIn, can create content? Is there any HR I don't know, in Malaysia that can give talk about resume, interview and all? Not many, only a few of us. All right. And I start create our own community of our influencer content creator as well. I did not start alone. No, I learned from other people. Some of the influencer that I actually influencer and content creation that I look up are like Fazrul Azrin, my friend from Petronas, from Prefcam Pengerang, Tuan Nick Akmal. He's also actively doing resume writing and interview preparation. Some of the young graduates, Shazan Nazura, Amira Akila, Nazrul Ifarandi, these are all good young graduates who are actually good in their own area. They're able to discover their own niche or their own brand. That I can see that there's not a lot of us yet in the social media. Okay, and then when look at the third bullet is strength and skills demanded by the employer. Then I'm asking, does Petronas require these skills? Do we require these skills? And then when I started doing this, suddenly UiTM is calling me for the webinar. A lot of universities start calling me for the session, and even my own company start calling me to train their employees as well, to train some of our, to be a trainer in some of our programs. So I see that, oh, actually, this resume writing, content creation is actually demanded by the employer. So when I combine all these three bullets, right? My strength, my skills, strength and skills that other people lacks, and it's actually demanded by the employer or by the universities. So that becomes my USP. So that's where you learn. No, that's where you create your own personal brand. When you have brand, then people will notice you. Then people will find you. Okay, that's the importance of personal brand. Okay, why I started personal brand from blogging in 2004. I like to write. I write blogs, and then I started doing LinkedIn and then TikTok in 2020. And so I received thousands of followers. It's not about the number of followers. It's about how people can accept your content. Are they able to understand your content? So for me, when we start creating content that people can appreciate, you are actually sharing something that people people like, that people that can appreciate. Sharing something that people can appreciate, rather than you share about fitnah berita palsu tu buat apa kan. So better you share something beneficial to someone else. So I start creating content. So basically the more I share, the more I get in return, because I have to do a lot more research. I have to study a lot more. I have to meet a lot more people to understand. I have to do some study or questionnaire. I have to ask some of the fresh graduates what are actually their difficulties in employment readiness, right? What are their issues actually? So when I met some of the lecturers, I'm asking them what actually the issues among in the education ecosystem. So I said the more I share, the more actually I get in return, in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, in terms of experience. So we're talking about personal branding, content creation. For me, that's only tools. Those are the results that you see, the tools that you have. So, but beyond that, you learn about yourself actually. Okay, you discover more about yourself. I never know that I will do this webinar a lot. Okay, I've never done this before. Only last year I attended almost 50 webinar. Almost every week I have webinar. Rasa macam jadi lecturer, setiap minggu ada kelas kan. So I've never experienced this before. I never even dream about this before, right? I went to Sabah how many times for the digital bootcamp, back-to-back meetings with the universities. I feel like, wow, this is something new, right? So it creates more opportunity actually. It creates more opportunity from that personal brand, for that social media. It creates more opportunity. And now I'm not just an HR manager. Now I'm a trainer. I can people call me trainer. People call me as a content creator. Those are the title that people give to me, even though I did not looking for it pun, kan? So then I started doing more personal branding, kan? More and more and more. I have to maintain the brand so that people will remember me. That's all. Okay, those are the things that you see, but behind it, there's a lot more that I learned from all this experience. So that's why I think if you're really good in social media, go for it. Okay, learn, try something new, create content. Your first content tak ada orang like, it's fine. You will learn. This is not the content that people like. Then you change the way. That's what I remember agility. You change. Try something new. Rather than you did not take the first step kan, sampai bila-bila you tak start, then you will never know. You will never know. Okay? So I think if you want to level up your question, you level up your personal branding kan, it's actually to try. I pun tak tahu I have this brand. No, I've never come to my mind to talk about this personal brand. Oh, it so happened that when I started doing content and all, then people start calling me Pak Tam resume lah. Dia kan? Dah jadi Pak Tam resume. So the brand tu is actually coming from the people. It's not from me myself. Okay, so itu je sebenarnya kan. So if you are good in online, then your job application pun senang. You nak apply via LinkedIn, Glassdoor, Jobstreet. People will find you online. Okay, why people need to find you online? Because all the job application now is online. So if you need reason why you need to have a good online presence, this might be one of the reason. Because everything is online including the job application. Well, there's another slide before this. Okay, why your online presence matters. This, try to Google yourself. Maslina, cuba you Google Maslina Jeffrey. What do you see yourself? Okay, in the Google's result.
I know this question. So the first thing that will come out when we online, when we Google our name is our LinkedIn profile, right?
Hmm. Yeah. So if you're active on LinkedIn, then your LinkedIn will appear first in the search engine, right? But if there is no digital footprint, I mean the Google cannot find you, there is no search result about you, okay, online. So it means that perhaps people can see that you did not exist lah in the digital punya space, right? So how can you actually, uh, you know, if you do not exist, how can you create a good brand? Imagine that you don't know that there is Adidas, you don't know that there is LV, you don't know the existence of LV and Adidas, for example, right? So people will not buy their brand because they did not know the existence. Okay, so observe your social media presence, Google yourself, and see whether you have a good reputation online or not. Okay, and then you work on your personal branding. You can use social media, you can use online portal, or you can create your own website. I don't have that much time to create website and online portal, so that's why I just use social media. I think that's the easiest one and also the cheapest one. Okay, LinkedIn and also TikTok. Right? And then why we are doing this? Because we want to connect with those in the employment network, right? When you have TikTok, or when I started joining TikTok, that's where I get to meet a lot of other influencers who are also HR, who are also doing resume writing and all that. And we become friends, right? And when you join LinkedIn, you get to know some of the headhunters, those who are actually recruiting people, right? Why? Why? Because 70% to 80% of job vacancies are not advertised. Not all positions are advertised online. Okay? So when you have this networking, okay, some people call it cable. So cable ni is not a good waste lah of get an employment. Cable ni you did not qualify for the job, but then somehow you get it. I don't believe in cable. I believe in professional networking. When you have your own circle, the right circle of friends, the right circle of network, it will open up new opportunities rather than mencari kerja, now kerja cari you sebenarnya. Okay, now kerja yang cari you sekarang ni. Okay, I can share with you some of the evidence lah. I think I have it here. This is some of the evidence. When I started joining, I think I shared this last year as well, right? When I started being active on LinkedIn, I received a lot of messages offering me jobs or offering me opportunity to speak at the conference, offering me opportunities to be interviewed, offering me to speak at the, paling banyak adalah offering to speak at the universities, doing webinar, kereta and all. Those are only based on 1 year being active on LinkedIn. All right. So these are all the new opportunities that coming to you. Okay. Once you started doing content, once you become visible online, okay? So for me, I'm not extrovert, I'm not even introvert, I'm ambivert in between. So I can be introvert, I can be extrovert as well. So all these presence give me comfort. When there are times you want to be silent, you want to be alone, then you go for online, right? Because there's no one in online, right? There's no one there to disturb you. Just post and then you shut down your laptop or your phone. Then you can become introvert. But then when you want to turn on your extrovert mode, and then you go to the creator, go and visit the universities, you go have a webinar. Now you see me as an extrovert talking to a lot of people, right? But then when I want to be quiet, I just do content because I'm on my own, right? So for me, it's good for someone both for extrovert and also introvert. If you're really active on online, if you're really doing that, if you want to level up your personal branding on social media, okay. So don't worry about personal branding. Just do whatever that you like on social media. Then it will comes to you. It will come to you, okay, naturally. People will realize, people will know that you are valuable, people will know your value, people will appreciate you, and then inshallah they will, call you for something, give you new opportunities. So that's about it, Maslina. I hope I answered your question.
That is very answering my question. Thank you so much, Patam. So talking about social media. So in specific, what is the best social media that we should focus more or put our time on it to develop useful content? Can we just focus on LinkedIn or we should focus on also on Instagram, on Facebook? What is your opinion about this, Patam?
Hmm. Different social media has different target group. Okay, so like for example, TikTok is mostly majority of the audience there, majority of the users are Gen Z, right? All the young people. So that's why when I started doing this resume writing and employment readiness great initiative, I started with TikTok first because I know this is the place where I can meet my audience. TikTok. So if you want to focus on young generation, then you go to TikTok. I look at in terms of the audience, in terms of demographic. But if you want to have both young generation and also professionals, you go to LinkedIn. Okay, you go to LinkedIn. So what is the best? I rasa sama je. It's all your. If you're not good in video making, then don't go for TikTok lah. If you like writing, then go for LinkedIn. It's fine. Kan? It's fine. Publish more articles. Okay, I'm also planning to. I ni suka tulis tapi I tak pernah ada buku. So I think that's my biggest regret lah if I did not actually publish a book lah at least kan in a lifetime kan. I suka menulis tapi tak pernah ada buku. So for me, maybe there will be sometime I will start try to write a books lah. Maybe I have to shut off sekejap I punya social media. That's all Musnah. Based on the target audience. Choose wisely based on the target audience.
All right, thank you so much, Patam. Yeah, I really want to read your book. It's going to be very great because
Inshallah.
I ever heard an advice because what is it? Every person has different experience, and we all have unique and very precious experience. So at least once, try to write a book before we die because it's going to be very useful. So I'm really looking forward for your book, Patam.
Inshallah. Amin. Doakan.
I mean, inshallah. So now let's move on to the next question. Okay, so uh, because this talk today is attended by final year students of a diploma and also degree. So they will be graduate very soon and they will be looking for jobs. So what are the common mistakes that graduates often do when searching for jobs and how can they overcome it? Over to you, Pak Tom.
Oh, common mistakes, ah. Common mistakes ni, that's why when I started doing great initiative, I started with resume first because that's the first mistake that they did in job hunting. The resume is not meeting the requirement by the industry. It's not because of their they doesn't know how to do, they don't know how to create a resume. No, because they have lack of guidance. That's all. Okay, they were not exposed to the university requirement. The second one is they did not involve in curriculum involvement and curriculum activities. I think that's the biggest mistake lah. You see curriculum activities as something that beneficial to you now as a student, but it's also beneficial for you when you are entering an employment punya phase, employment punya journey, right? Because again, on the slide, I'm giving you top 5 important characters that employers look for during job interview, and all these 5 important characters, you can only gain from this curriculum involvements: leading a team, humility and respect, winning mindset, learning agility, creative, innovative. This is more or less the same like ABCDE just now. Okay, this is also almost the same. All right. So the biggest mistake is resume writing, and then they did not involve in curriculum activities. They weren't able to practice, okay, their soft skills through curriculum activities, and then the third one is interview preparation. Of course, you cannot expect that you can speak in English fluently if it is your first time to speak in English at a job interview. No, you cannot expect that you can speak very good in English during a job interview if you haven't spoken in English before that, right? Even me myself, I don't consider myself as a good English speaker. No, I'm not an English speaker. I'm just a speaker maybe, but I'm not an English speaker, right? So I also learning from my own experience. What I'm doing now, giving career talk, actually I'm trying to polish my English as well. Okay, not perhaps a professional punya English kan. So I'm actually polishing my confidence level, my communication skills, right? So for you to prepare for interview, you need to prepare from now before you went for the interview. So that's why if you have a good resume, you join a lot of curriculum activities, then you will be called for many interviews. So just go for all the interviews for the sake of practicing. It's fine. Do not actually, right away shut down some of the opportunities. Some are asking that, Pak Tam, I don't want to go to this interview. I got this interview, but I think the position is not as per my career aspiration. I don't want to go to the interview. And then I will just reply, why don't you just go for the interview for the sake of practicing, to practice your interview skills? Kan, bukan belum tentu dapat lagi pun job tu, tapi you belum apa-apa lagi you dah reject. Orang tak offer lagi you dah reject kan. So for me, you kalah sebelum bertanding kan. So why don't you just go for the interview, and if you're lucky you get the job offer, then you will decide. You can reject the offer, it's fine. It's offer and acceptance. But at least you get that experience to go to the interview. So during my years as well, I go to a lot of interviews just for the sake of training myself in the interview room. Of course, I receive a lot of negative feedback as well. So that's why I learned. At my last interview is the finale interview. So that's why at least I was well prepared for the final interview. So it takes 1 year, almost 2 years to get into the final interview, your dream job, your dream company. Okay, it took 1-2 years actually to get that, to be there, right? So the biggest mistake is that one, resume writing. You do not involve in curriculum activities, and last one is interview preparation. Because these are the three key items prior to employment. So when I'm doing this great initiative pun, I focus on these three items. Your soft skill, your interview preparation, and resume writing. Those are the normal, usual reason why fresh graduates are not ready for employment. And then I add on lah, when you start joining the workforce, when you get into the employment, that you need to start understanding other people of personality, different personality at work, different personality personality among your coworkers, how you work together, how you understand other people. Then I start talking about personality a little bit. I just have some basic understanding. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a counselor. So I just learn how from human behavior. That's all from observing. I observe how people talk, how people react. So that's how you learn and respect other people, and and then you embrace that collaboration and teamwork. That's the real teamwork lah. Kalau you tak pernah kerja dengan orang, suddenly you put in the resume that you have teamwork skills, jangan gebang lah orang kata kan. If you haven't worked with your team dekat dalam curriculum tu tak join, you cannot say that you have a good teamwork skills. Alright. So that's about it, Masina. That's all. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Pak Tam. Yeah, that's very true. Every time we got an interview call, so we need to go for it. Dapat tak dapat, it's okay. Yang penting kita dapat belajar sesuatu. Macam the first time we go for it, maybe we do mistakes, but the next time we will know how to improve. And then the next time, the other time,
Correct.
we're going to do better. So just go for it. Don't be
Better.
afraid. Okay. So there are three key takeaway that I can take from that answer, which is first the resume, number two is involvement, and number two is interview. So let's dig deeper into the number one, which is resume. So what
Hmm.
a good resume should look like, Patam? Any tips?
Thank you. I don't have it on slide, but the best resume is your own template. That's all. Do not copy other people template, or even resume template from Canva and so on are the biggest threat. When you start following the template, you actually limiting your achievement and confidence that you can bring to the table, right? Not trying to again template. I always advise some of them pick and choose lah. Then you get to pick and choose which content is more suitable, which content is more impact. Okay, that's number one. Do not start from templates. Start
Mohon maaf atas kesilapan teknikal. Speaker kita terkeluar sebentar, jadi kita tunggu untuk dia masuk semula. Sementara itu, bolehlah hadirin ataupun audiens yang hadir malam ini untuk type soalan di chat box dan kami akan utarakan kepada speaker. Terima kasih. Pak Tam, okay?
hello.
Halo Pak Tam. Okay, boleh sambung Pak Tam. Baiklah semua, sementara menunggu speaker kita untuk masuk semula dan mendapatkan sambungan internet yang stabil, izinkan saya untuk kongsikan 7 persediaan utama yang perlu dibuat sebelum menghadiri sebarang temu duga. Jadi yang pertama, sebelum Anda pergi ke temu duga adalah untuk dapatkan maklumat tentang organisasi yang akan menemu duga Anda. Contohnya, Anda ingin hadir ke interview Petronas, so dapatkan sebarang maklumat, visi, misi yang berkaitan dengan Petronas. Supaya nanti bila kita hadir, kita seperti well informed tentang hala tuju, tentang organisasi Petronas tadi. Dan yang kedua adalah untuk dapatkan maklumat tentang jawatan yang dipohon. Dan yang ketiga, dapatkan maklumat temu duga yang akan dilalui. Saya akan sambung semula nanti. Dan sementara itu, kita sambung semula pula dengan Pak Tam. Pak Tam, okay, sudah?
Okay, I don't know what happened.
Baik.
The Wi-Fi connection is okay here. But somehow I
it's
got
okay.
disconnected. I don't know. I was kena tendang. I was kicked off from the but it's fine. So we're talking about resume writing just now, right? Okay. Actually, if you're giving me only a few minutes to talk about me, it's not enough lah. Normally my resume writing class is 1 hour. Alright, then you will learn how to create a good resume. But let me give you a brief summary on what makes a good resume. The first one, do not follow template. Create from a blank piece of paper. Write your own content first, and then you choose, you prioritize, and then you choose the one that is more impactful. Okay, that's the first one. Do not follow. Do not start from the template. Template should come later, towards the end. The second one, I would suggest that for you to have a different set of resume based on your career aspiration. Okay, not based on position. Actually, it's very difficult lah for you to create a new resume every time you want to apply for a new position. You change your resume. For me, that's very difficult and somehow tricky a little bit. So I would suggest that you create a resume based on your career aspiration. For example, I'm a business administration graduate, right? So some of the job prospect that I can join is HR, or I can join business development, or I can join marketing, or I can join administration and management. So these 4 career aspiration, I can create 4 types of resume based on this career. One resume is for HR, one resume for my job as a admin or management, another resume for business development role, another resume for marketing, sales and marketing. So that your resume is more focused in terms of the content. Okay. The problem with resume is when we read your resume, we are not able to understand what actually you are good at. Are you actually jack of all trades? You want to do everything. Okay, ramai yang pergi career fair bila tanya part time ada kerja kosong tak? Lepas tu part time tanya kerja apa you nak? Dia kata apa-apa pun boleh part time, kerja apa-apa pun boleh. So I will reply, there is no kerja apa-apa here in this company. You need to define what is your strength. Okay, kerja apa-apa tu tak ada. Apa-apa tu macam tak buat kerja. Right? So you need to define your strength. You need to know your strength. You need to define your career aspiration. Tell us what actually you like to do, what actually you want to be. Yes, you might not get a job as per your aspiration lah, but at least you know your strength. At least you know what you can offer to the organization. So that makes a good resume lah. Okay, a resume that is focusing on your career aspiration. Okay, if you're not sure on what is your career aspiration, then Maslina, you need to arrange another career talk. Call for industrial speaker within that area. Okay, kalau HR students, you call people from HR. If marketing student, you call people from marketing. So that they learn about their career path, about their career aspiration. Okay, then they will decide better for their own lah. Then they be able to create a good resume. So the first one is do not start from template. Second one is use your career aspiration. Last but not least, I think a good resume is a branded resume lah. So that's my signature actually under Great Initiative kan. I created a brand resume. What do I mean by branded resume is your own niche. It's evergreen. Whatever position that you apply, you can use that branded resume. You have your own brand. Okay. It's really focusing on your strength. It's really highlighting your achievements. It really surfacing your accomplishment, also something great about you. That is a branded resume. Same goes to other brands lah. Okay? Adidas, LV, Prada. You know already. Prada quality dia macam mana. LV quality dia macam mana. For example, right? I'm just giving you an example. So you have to know your brand. Okay, you have to know your brand and then you show it in the resume. So a branded resume is the best resume lah for me kan. Resume from Canva, resume from template you get from someone else. For me, it cannot apply to everyone. Resume cannot be rigid. It cannot be generic lah. It cannot be the same for everyone. No, please don't copy resume for your friend. The content must be different. The content must be unique because every time you apply for job kan, we receive thousands of CVs kan. We see the same content from all students from especially from the same universities, from the same faculty. So the content is the same for everyone. Okay. So it's not about design, it's not about number of pages, it's about content. It's about content. The best resume is about content. Okay. So I think that's about it, Mastina.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Tam, for the very compact and useful sharing about resume. So, can we move on to the third point, which is about interview preparation? So, what are the preparation that students or graduates should prepare themselves for the interview? How can we prepare for the interview?
Oh, prepare for interview number one, learn how to communicate. When we talk about communicate, right, it's not only about verbal communication, but also your body language and also about your face expression, all right. So, but the most difficult one is actually the verbal communication. Okay, how you speak up your mind, okay, how you deliver the message, how you articulate the information. Same goes to what I'm doing now as a presenter, as a speaker, right? I have to be very careful on how I deliver my message so that people will understand. Or as Maslina nanti mengantuk benda lah Pak Tani membebel kan. Yes, I can be as blunt as that. Okay, I can be, here and there, everywhere, right? So if I did not focus on my thoughts, I will not be able to deliver and articulate the message. People will not understand me. All right. So the first thing is about your verbal communication. So the best technique that I found is STAR method. I think during my workshop, I always talk about STAR method. There's a lot of method lah on how you structure your mind into verbal communications. All right. There are STAR method, CAL method, CARE method. What's more important is how you structure your mind, the topics, and how you deliver it wisely, concisely, and precisely. That's number one, uh, verbal communication. Second one is your stories. Job interview is about sharing stories. What kind of stories? What stories? Your life stories. Okay. So when we ask you some of the questions, you need to be prepared with those stories. So this is where your curriculum achievements, your life experience will help you. All right. When we're asking you about the biggest challenge, what was your biggest challenge in the past? You already experienced that, then then you during the job interview. What is your experience leading a team, right? Have you led a team before this? If you haven't tried any curriculum activities as a leader, then you will not be able to share those stories. Okay. And of course, in terms of technical skills, some of the hiring manager, they like to ask you about some technical questions. Okay, you are engineering students. Can you share a little bit what do you understand by engineering? Or they're trying to ask you some of the technical questions. So you need to remember what you learned at the university. Okay. The problem with the students after university, after examination, they forgot everything. Okay, so keep your notes with you. Keep your notes with you. Keep some of the information about your technical skills. Keep the textbook with you lah. At least for the first 2-3 years, to keep the notes with you lah. Okay, after that, then you don't have to remember whatever that you learned in school lah. After that, then you need to acquire new skills. You need to learn new skills at the job, kan, on the job. So then you can talk about your job experience pula. Okay, but the first 2-3 years after your graduation, you must remember what you learned in the university, because those are some basic technical skills, that a question that will be asked during the interview. All right. So first is verbal communication. Second, It's about creating your own stories. Remember your own stories to share during the interview. And last but not least is to practice and practice. I think I already mentioned about this earlier, right? You need to have a good resume so that you'll be called to a lot of interviews. When you went to a lot of interviews, that's where you practice. Okay, you can only learn about job interview through practice. You cannot learn from your friends. You cannot do, yes, we can do mock-up interview, but that's not a real experience lah. Okay, so imagine that your first interview is the big with a big company, can, so definitely you'll be so nervous and all, right? So try with the small companies first. Just apply small companies just to try to get into the job interview. Practice and practice, then you will learn on how to speak, you will learn how to be comfortable in the job interview, how to actually converse in the job interview. Actually, the best way to have a job interview is to have a conversation with the interviewer, not based on I tanya you jawab. Itu bukan conversation, itu macam apa, one way communication kot. Then you actually responding to the questions only. But the best way of interviewing is like this lah, macam I dengan Mas Lina kan. It's like we are talking to each other. It's like we are responding to each other when I give him my feedback. And then later on, Mas Lina will recap some of it. So it's like a conversation. It's not like a one way communication. So this only, you can only experience this through practice. So don't be afraid to go to as many interviews as possible so that you'll be able to practice. So communication is the second one, not let's practice and practice. That's all. That's about it, Masina.
That's right, Pak Tam. And I really love this term or this phrase which said that university is our training ground before we embark on the real working place. So this is where we prepare ourselves with the needed skills like communications and also leadership skills. That are the qualities that we can only get through practical ways, which is when we truly experience and do something. I mean, get involved in leadership or in organization. There we can see the part of ourselves that we never see before. Like me, before this, I challenged myself to join the Student Representative Council at UiTM Sabah. At first, I was really reluctant, but then it has shaped me to become more confident, to be brave, speaking in front of people. Before this, if someone
Exactly.
knows, I'm actually very introvert, and my voice is very slow. I never talk really clear. I still remember when I at the canteen of my primary school, I was ordering kue, kue ketayap nama dia. Tapi kan panggil kat sini kue gulung warna hijau. So I said like this, kue gulung satu. And that really shows that I am very have low self confidence at that time. And now I can talk in front of people. I can not just in screen, but also in front of people, talking and become a public speaker like that. And I also joined Young Motivator, which has really boosted my confidence that now I realize my strengths and my interest is in communication and speaking. So if we never try, we never know. That is what I hold
Exactly.
really, really dearly in my heart. So
Exactly.
don't be afraid. Just step out of the comfort zone and go try and explore yourself.
Yes.
Uh,
Congratulations.
I
Congratulations, Maslina.
thank you, Pak Tam. And next moving on to the next question. So I think this is quite interesting, and I would like to know the answer from Pak Tam personally. Can you share your experience in recruitment process? Apa sebenarnya ciri seorang HR manager yang
Hmm.
dicari pada seorang calon? Attitude apakah ataupun ciri apakah yang perlu ada pada seorang calon ini untuk membuatkan kita yakin dia itu seorang bakal employee yang sangat baik? Boleh Pak Tang ceritakan, kongsikan?
Okay. Oh, that's a very difficult question because normally in every interview or in every job posting, kan, we have different expectation from each candidates. We have different expectation. But more or less, if I will have to recap the similarities of every job interviews or every job hunting, right? Job searching from the employer's point of view, from HR point of view, we are looking at the candidate's potential. Far you can go in terms of your competencies, in terms of your capabilities, in terms of your capacity, okay, to do your job in this organization. Alright. For example, in a very difficult punya company, for example, in very fast moving company, for example, engineering or technical companies, right? They're looking for someone who are strong, who can actually embrace challenges. You have to work dekat tengah-tengah laut kan? Can you actually work dekat tengah-tengah laut tu jauh daripada anak isteri for many months. So when we do that job interview, when we're actually looking for your interview, we're looking for someone who are strong. Okay, we are trying to assess your potential here. All right, that's why we start looking for those who are active in sports, for example. Right, we start looking for those who are active in badan uniform body. Right, because we we somehow trying to understand your potential, and then we're going to validate that through the job interview lah. So that's why during the job interview, normally you find it very difficult, very challenging because it's designed such a way, right? We have to make it difficult for you so that you'll be able to show your true colors. You'll be able to show your true potential during the job interview because we want someone who are strong, someone who are resilient and agile. Right? So for me, it's all about potential. Same goes to other job area as well, sales or marketing, for example, right? They're looking for someone who can actually attract customers, for example, someone who can actually bring as many customers as possible to our organization. So when they do interview, when they look at your resume, they're looking for someone who has that aura lah. Okay, someone who can actually influence people, someone who can actually communicate with people, someone who is approachable and likable, right? So that people, the customer will come to you. So those are the potential that we're looking at at each candidates lah. Okay, it depends on job area, it depends on the nature of the organization of the companies. So for you to understand what kind of potential that they are looking at, then you have to go and meet the employers lah. You have to go and read from their LinkedIn posts, kan? Meet some of the industrial speakers, right? Some of the industrial influencer, ask them, or you can read from their posting, what kind of people that they're looking at. So for me, that's actually when we are assessing your potential, we are looking at your past behavior, right? So in the competency-based interview, CBI, the idea is your past behavior will predict your future behavior. If you're always behaving in such a way, so we foresee that we predict that you will always behave in such a way as well. So that's why GPA somehow it becomes one of the criteria, kan? Because a good CGPA translate into a hardworking person, translate into someone who is focused, more focused in their job, someone who is actually happy whatever that they are doing. That's why they get a better score, right? So we are looking at the behavior actually, not the CGPA number itself. We are looking at the behavior. That's why during the interview we keep validating about the behavior, and this behavior and potential is very difficult to assess. I cannot judge Maslina just from tonight punya session kan. I will not be able to judge her behavior. Is she does Maslina is like this every time 24 hours dia macam ni ke? Tak, most probably not, right? You probably someone else outside the camera, off the screen you might be someone else. So how do we assess this potential and behavior? Okay, during that only 1 or 2 hours interview is very difficult, right? So that's why as an HR professional or those who are involved in recruitment, right, we have to be creative on how we help the hiring manager to find the right candidates. Okay, so that we give them the best candidates based on the desired potential and behavior that they want. Okay, of course lah hiring manager ni dia punya cita-cita angan-angan dia kadang-kadang kayangan juga kan. Dia nak student yang macam ni, nak graduate macam ni, dia nak employees yang macam ni. Kadang-kadang employees tu tak ada pun because of talent gap, the employees punya skill set is not there in the market, but somehow the request is there. The hiring manager is requesting for that kind of talents, right? But we don't have that talents in the market pool. So how HR and recruitment team helps the organization and the hiring manager to surface candidates with a good potential and good behavior to meet the job requirement. So that's what we are doing lah, Masina, in our daily job, right? So we have to be creative in terms of our assessment tools. We have to be creative in reaching out to the candidates. That's why you see us going to career fairs and all, right? Try to find candidates, and we cannot rely purely on career fairs anymore. We have to be creative in our sourcing. Okay, more ways of macam-macam. We have to be creative. I cannot tell you everything here lah, because those are company punya confidential strategy, right? Our recruitment strategy. So our recruitment strategy is confidential lah. We have our own ways, creative ways of doing things on how we reach out to the right candidate. That's all. Thank you, Masina.
All right, thank you so much, Pak Tam, for the very useful sharing. Now, the time passed so fast. So now we are going to have a Q&A session. So I believe that this sharing today will be useful not only for graduates looking for jobs, but also for those who are still studying. So dear audience, if you have any questions, just feel free to post them in the comment section and we will attend to it. But while waiting for the questions to be typed out, I would like to give some questions to Pak Tam, still relating to the interview. So some candidates, we can see that they have lack of confidence. They can do well, but because of lack of confidence in interview, they are not able to present actually what are the potential. So what is the advice that Pak Tam would like to give to those candidates lacking of confidence? How can they improve their confidence in communications, either Bahasa Melayu or in English?
Okay, so for you to be confident, you need to know what is actually your weaknesses lah. Is it language? Is it the content? You don't have content, so that's why you're not able to speak up. What is it? What's the reason you're confident? Is it the, I don't know, you don't have any knowledge about it, you don't have content like that. So most of the time when I ask the young graduates when they are not confident, is mostly because number one is the language, number two because they don't know what they don't know. They don't know what they don't know. Okay, so if you're talking about language, again, it's about practice. You cannot master English by speaking Malay at home, by speaking Malay 24 hours. Okay, so you need to practice. And if you think that you don't have good knowledge in terms of certain area, try to learn from online training. Okay, read more. Okay, and then write more, share more with other people so that you will remember the contents. Kan? If you're afraid that you will not be able to memorize everything, of course, when you are so nervous in the interview room, you tend to forget everything. Then put it in your resume. So your resume will be your reference in the interview room. You can bring in your resume, and then you can take a look at your resume. That's your reference lah. You can see that in the interview room, right? You can read. So at least if somehow you become blank ke apa ke, tak tahu nak cakap apa kan, at least you have your resume in front of you. And last but not least, if you think that speaking ataupun verbal communication is not your forte, I always tell people, alright. So maksudnya, for example, during my interview, I bring some of the portfolio. I develop, for example, annual report for my organization. So during the interview, I bring that a copy of the annual report. So I'm telling them that, okay, I have done a lot in writing. So this is one of the example. I created this annual report. So show them. If you can show them, show them. You don't have to tell them, right? I saw some of those graduates, they show us their YouTube video, okay, or even they use the whiteboard kan, to write down certain things and create a process flow, so that will help them to become more confident during the job interview. So not necessarily in job interview you have to speaking up 24 hours at all time, right? If you can use some other materials, use it wisely. Now, even because it's a virtual interview, most of the time it's virtual interviews, video interview, right? Then you can share screen, you can share your presentation slides. Why not, right? So at least it will give you more confidence, right? When you have more support, okay, when you have more support and more material, then it's hopefully it will help you to be more confident. And last but not least, of course, you have to practice lah. You're gonna try dengan kawan-kawan you, try dengan your parents at home, right? Then you will be more confident, inshallah, kan? And it will not happen overnight. No, you have to try again. Okay, I think that's a little bit of it lah, Masina. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Pak Tam. Now we have a question from one of our audiences here, which is about resume is a summary of the candidate's or applicant no, background. So, what would you like to know exactly about the candidate or applicant that actually not on the resume? What would you want to know about them, but they don't state in the resume? Perhaps about their um, attitude. Over to you, Partha.
It's behavior. That's all. We're looking for your behavior. The resume is actually we translate into behavior. Again, past behavior predict future behavior. When we did interview as well, we are validating your behavior. Are you are you consistently behaving in this way, such way, or you try to fake it out? Kita boleh nampak. If you fake during the job interview, we can assess, we can gauge that you are actually this is not you lah. This is fake. We know. When we read your resume, we actually take every single thing in your resume literally. No, it's not literally. We try to translate or reflect your behavior. What kind of behavior? Those who are active in curriculum, what kind of behavior is that? Those who are top performer, top student, what kind of behavior is that? Okay, those who are good in volunteering and CSR, what kind of behavior is that? So when the hiring manager is reading your resume, they are trying to understand your behavior. They're trying to gauge your behavior actually, right? And then if they are somehow convinced this is your behavior and that behavior is aligned with the job requirement, then they will call you for the interview. When they call you for the interview, they will test you, they will validate whether is do you have that behavior or not, or is it just on piece of paper. You're not able to walk the talk, right? So if you did not successful in the job interview, not because you're not good, not because your resume is not good, but somehow your behavior does not align with your resume, or your behavior does not align with the job requirement. Okay, for example, Masina ni dia bagus kan, tapi mungkin dia tak sesuai jadi lecturer, mungkin dia sesuai jadi sales and marketing, for example. So if you go to any interviews as a lecturer, definitely you akan fail forever, for example, right? Then maybe you salah pilih Kerjaya, for example, because your character, your behavior does not align with the job requirement. Especially if that requirement is coming from the hiring manager lah. Hiring manager ni kadang-kadang dia punya aspiration, dia punya expectation ni is high. The expectation is somehow over the moon juga kadang-kadang kan. So we're not sure actually dia nak apa kan. So they just try and error juga. When they call you for interview, it's always try and error. Those are behavior. But if you want to look at in terms of your competency level, of course, when you look at your resume, we want to assess your competency level. Can you do this job or not? Do you have the right competency to do this job or not? Okay, that one is actually, for fresh graduate ni, we did not put so much hope lah. Okay, our expectation is very low. Graduates definitely you don't have that skills to do the job. But that's why we are looking at potential. Cukup lah, you ada basic knowledge pun cukup lah. If you put advanced in your resume pun, the hiring manager will not believe you. You have advanced in certain skills. Because as a graduate, your skills, your competence is always at basic level lah. That's a normal understanding among the hiring managers. Okay, so we try to look at your behavior, we try to look at your competencies level. If we have to test or validate, we call you for interview, or we do another assessment. That's why we receive some online tests or writing tests, for example, right? Or quiz or personality test. Those are the assessment tools that we use to make sure that we are able to validate your behavior and your competencies. And then last but not least is your potential. Sometimes you don't have the right behavior, Sometimes you don't have a sufficient level of competencies. Your competency level is a bit low, but we see the potential in you. We think that okay lah, we can groom this candidate. It's not that good. Ini behavior pun so-so, competency pun okay lah so-so, but we see the potential in you. We see that you are someone who is very energetic. You want to learn. You want to try something new. Okay lah, we see the potential in you. Then perhaps you will be successful as well. Okay, so this potential, behavior, and also competency level are the things that we're looking at lah, that we're trying to surface from your resume. Okay, that's about it.
All right, thank you, Fatma. Now let's go to the second question from our audience, which is what are the common questions always being asked by the interviewer in an interview session? Fatma?
Please introduce yourself. That's the most common question. Because why? That question, please introduce yourself actually to actually interviewers, they're buying time. When they ask that question, they are buying time to read your resume, they are buying time to do other things lah, to fill up the form and all right. So why they are filling up the form, they ask you to introduce yourself. Actually, they already know who you are by reading the resume, but I just want to give you some that's like an ice breaking lah. Give you the most easiest question. That should be the most easiest question. Who you are, kan? Explain about yourself. So please describe about yourself. So practice that one because that's definitely the most popular question. It give a good. It's a simple question, but impactful. That reflects your self awareness, how good you know about yourself. That's number one. Second one is what is your biggest achievement? Why are we asking this question? Because me myself also I like this kind of question. This question, what is your biggest achievement? Because number one, I'll be able to understand how you define achievement. For some people, achievement is always about getting awards, recognition, all the good things. But for some people, to fail, okay, to have some weaknesses is also an achievement. When you fail or you learn something and then you come back, right? That's also considered as an achievement. So the way you define achievement uh, somehow is interesting. That's why we're asking that question. We want to know how you define achievement. Are you someone yang asyik nak kejar award je ke? Takkan nak kejar anugerah je. Asyik nak dapat anugerah. You ni gila popular ke kan? Asyik nak dapat anugerah bintang popular je ke kan? So you do not learn anything from that. So from that question, what is your biggest achievement ni, we can assess your strength and also your weaknesses at the same time. Okay? So from that simple question, we can actually gauge your perception, your behavior towards certain things, your perspective towards certain things. Last but not least, I think the most common question is why you want to apply for this job. Okay, that's actually also a simple question. It's actually just to validate whether do you really want this job or not. Okay, do you know what it takes to do this job? So that's why when I interview for HR executive, for example, right? I'm looking for HR executive. So I'm asking them, why do you want to do HR? Sometimes I provoke sikit lah. HR is not a good position. People don't like HR. So why do you apply for HR? Or even some are doing different course. Sometimes I provoke kan. You belajar science, mathematics. Why do you want to apply for HR position? Okay, something just for the sake of argument. We want to see whether do you know what it takes to become an HR? Do you know what it takes to do that job? Do you have what it takes? Okay, and if you don't have the skills, you don't have the competence, you know nothing about the position, at least convince us that you have the right behavior to do certain job. That's all. So from that simple question, actually we can assess whether you have the agility, you have the resilience, whether you are able to embrace new things, right? So I tak nak lah orang, I pernah tanya why you want to do HR, why you change from matrikulasi science, lepas tu tiba-tiba ambil degree HR, now nak kerja HR. Kenapa? Because my mom told that, mak suruh, ataupun because dia kata allocation untuk course tu dah habis. Saya tak boleh dah sama engineering, dah full. So I have to choose another course. So yes, that's a true reason, but that's not the definite reason why you want to do certain things. Not because of the allocation, not because of the quota, not because of the opportunity. Why you want to achieve certain things. Okay? So one who has about it. Masih lain tak boleh cerita lah, nanti confidential. Those are all interview questions. Okay?
All right, thank you so much, Pak Tam. Some questions may also about our weaknesses. So I learned about this from LinkedIn. If they ask about our weaknesses, we shouldn't answer like this. Oh, my weaknesses is I don't know how to do video editing. Full stop. That is not the right way to answer a question. But we can be honest, but at the same time, showing that we are having the right behavior. We can instead answer like this. My weaknesses is I don't know how to do video editing very good, but I am willing to learn. And now I took up classes online to learn more about it and to improve my video editing skills. I think
Yes.
that just from our answer and from the way that we
Yes.
answer it, a lot of things can be translated about ourselves. So thank you so much, Pak Tam, for the answer. We learned a lot from it. So the next question is about uh, maybe this is a little bit confidential. I hope Pak Tam can answer this one, which is about is it true that HR and interviewer will check the candidate's social media?
Hmm. Uh, yes, some of us we go to your social media not because we want to become busybody lah, want to see what you're doing in your lifestyle. No, it's not that we want to see your friend. No, it's not because we want to see what you're doing in your free time. No, when we go to online or social media, we're actually looking at more information about your behavior. Okay, we are looking for more information about your content. Perhaps your resume is good, but the content is not sufficient. So that means we want to know more information is possible about your experience, about your curriculum activities and all, about your achievement, publication that you did, right? So that people can explore more about it, people can reach out, people can explore more information from you. So we just want to ensure that whatever that you wrote in your resume is actually the same with whatever that you did on social media. Okay, now that's why I encourage you to do LinkedIn, because if you did not open up LinkedIn, people will go to your Instagram and Facebook. Okay, and for my organization, I don't do that lah. Actually, to be honest, I don't go for Instagram, Facebook to talk lah. I normally at least pun I go to LinkedIn. Okay, just to see your profile. That's all. Okay, but for some other companies, yes, maybe, especially for sales and marketing punya industri kan, dia mesti nak cari orang yang macam ni kan. So to see that behavior, to see that character, you cannot see from a piece of paper resume. You need to look at your social media as well. So that's why we can actually gauge your character, your style kan, whether you align or not with that kind of job. Itu je. Bukanlah kita nak backfire you ke, bukanlah kita nak kutuk-kutuk you dekat social media ke, no. It's more for us to have that comfort level. Yes, the one that you wrote in your resume is the same in social media. Itu je. Okay. Tapi jarang lah orang nak pergi social media ni. Tak ada masa pun sebenarnya nak tengok. Okay.
Okay, the next one is about networking. Does networking really important? I
Yes.
remember when I go to the LinkedIn, I saw a post. Dear connections, I am Nene. Still introducing a little bit about him or herself. I'm looking for internship. I'm looking for a job. Does that really work or not? What about this, Patam? What are your thoughts about this?
Depends. Yes, networking is very important because you never know who you're going to meet and you never know who's going to help you, right? You will never know that. But the strategy is do not simply create a posting like that lah, kan? Especially if you have only few connection. You only have 10 connections, kan, or 20 connections, then you posting something like that. Definitely it's not going to be useful. That's why when I talk about LinkedIn, kan, the power of LinkedIn, you must start by understanding your audience first, right? Audience first. Do you have all the HR people in your connections? Do you have all the headhunters, yeah, recruitment teams in your connections? Then you can post that one lah, kan? If not, who will read your posting? Your friends. Your friend will not be able to give you the job. So if you know your audience, you know your circle, you know your networking, then you'll be able to give a good, then you'll be able to get a good result lah from your posting. Okay, like Patam lah. If I keep talking about something else, I know that my content, my connections mostly are young graduates. So that's why my content are all about graduates. I will not talk about HR. I will not what I'm doing at the job. No, I tak pernah cerita about my job dalam LinkedIn. Kalau I tunjuk pun, I tunjuk gambar whatever that I did at job kan. Tapi I tak tunjuk apa sebenar-benar kerja I buat, I tak tunjuk dekat LinkedIn. First is because confidential. Second, you guys are not the right audience. You guys are not the right audience kan in the LinkedIn. So if you have the right audience, the right connection in your LinkedIn, you'll be able to get jobs, connection will be able to help you, your network will be able to help you, especially kalau they're very supportive, they will comment and like your post, definitely it will help. I see a lot of LinkedIn posting, minta benda-benda macam tu, asking for job and all, and it helps. It really helps, especially if your content, your LinkedIn profile is complete. First, you need to have a good LinkedIn profile, kena complete, and then you have a good resume, the people will help you, insyaAllah.
Inshallah, Pak Tam. And it's all about strategy. So we move on
Yes.
to the next question. Okay. Apa pandangan Pak Tam cabaran kerja yang akan datang tentang cabaran kerja yang akan datang dan cadangan ataupun nasihat kepada pelajar atau graduan sebagai persediaan dalam menghadapi perubahan dan cabaran-cabaran mendatang ini. Sebab pada masa akan datang mungkin kerjaya ataupun situasi tidak lagi sama seperti hari ini kerana perkembangan digital. Jadi apa cadangan Pak Tam untuk mereka lengkapkan diri mereka dan persiapkan diri mereka?
Susah soalan ni, because even not only for among graduates but also for us, the seasoned employees as well, we have to stay relevant. Okay? So I have this slide on my presentation, how fresh graduate can stay relevant. Okay, so I started thinking of how the graduates can become relevant. Relevant ni maksudnya you become evergreen, kan? So these are some of the tips that I can share with you lah. 7 ways for you to stay relevant. Okay, first one, you need to start challenge the tradition. That's why I said, do not follow the tradition, do not follow the old ways of doing things, do not follow the same program every year, do not do the same program every year. Challenge the tradition, try something new, try inject a new elements, because when you try something new, you'll be able to challenge your creativity, you'll be able to challenge your comfort level. All right, then it helps you to become more agile and resilient in the future. Alright, of course you'll be, ada orang kecam-kecam you kan, normal lah tu, biarlah orang kecam, so at least you learn something from that. Okay, second one is learn the industry lingo. Okay, like what Maslina is doing today as an MC, as a moderator, right? She needs to ask something that I will be able to understand, because somehow those from the industry, they might not be able to understand your question. Okay, masa memulai dapat soalan Maslina pun, what is talent gap, macam apa benda dia tanya talent gap ni kan. So is it from employer point of view ke, is it from university point of view ke, apa talent gap ni? So it's a big topic sebenarnya kan. So me myself pun as an industrial punya people coming from the industry, I have to understand from university point of view, student point of view, talent gap ni apa kan. So we actually trying to understand our own language, okay, the industry lingo kan. So university punya language is different compared to industrial punya language. Okay, sometimes the same word have different meaning, ada macam tu kan. Okay, we never know, right? Agile dekat company maksudnya apa, agile dekat university mungkin maksudnya lain, right? So try to learn this industry lingo. So how to do this is to network lah, get to know people, read their posting, read their books, right? Have your learn from the influencer. Carilah mana-mana idola yang you kenal dekat luar, or even your family coming from the industry, borak-borak dengan dia, learn the industry lingo, right? Okay. Third one is live to learn lah. You need to learn. Memang kena belajar. Tak boleh you kata masuk-masuk kerja terus pandai, tak boleh. Okay. whatever that you learn at the university tu, we only prepare you in terms of the fundamental punya level sahaja. For you to move on, for you to move up in your career ladder, right, you need to learn. Now, I think online learning is available everywhere. Okay, there's a lot of online learning. It's only for you to take the opportunity je. Okay, take the opportunity to learn. Okay, number 4 is aim for the right career target. That's why you need to have your career path, you need to have your career aspiration. You must know your career path, and then you aim for that career target, so that you aim for the right target lah. Kalau you target semua benda you nak kerja, semua pun you nak kan, that's why you lack of focus, dan somehow semua pun you tak dapat. Apa orang kata, dikejar tak dapat, dikendong berciciran kan. And then try unpaid internship. I'm not promoting unpaid internship, but I want you to try unpaid internship. Maksudnya don't only go for internship because it's a university requirement. And university requirement tu, of course lah, there's one internship, right? That one is mandatory for everyone to go for internship. Always try and apply second and third internship during your semester break, or go for part-time job, for example kan. Kalau part-time job susah nak dapat, go for unpaid internship, why not? So that you get to know people from the industry, you get to know the industry punya expectation. And then master new technologies. Whenever there is new technologies, try. Kalau you rasa tak boleh, then you stop and then you try something else. Okay, at least you try whenever there is new. Like dulu tak ada Netflix, now ada Netflix, semua orang try. Tapi ada orang yang belum try pun Netflix, still lagi tengok Astro, for example kan. Nothing wrong with Astro kan, tapi orang dah move to Netflix, dia masih lagi tengok TV1, TV2, TV3 kan. So you do not master new technology, for example, you do not embrace new challenge lah, and new digital technologies. And last but not least, invest in your IQ, EQ and RQ. IQ ni in terms of your intellectual capacity lah kan. Go for training, join lah public speaking, communication, challenge your IQ. And EQ ni challenge your emotional intelligence. Go for volunteering, NGOs, tutoring, coaching, mentoring, kan jadilah mentor. Dan RQ ni relationship quotient. Relationship quotient is invest in networking, professional networking, build relationship with other people. Kalau you macam Masina kata dia introvert, it's fine, that's your personality, but how you overcome that challenges, how you actually adapt to your own personality, but at the same time you're able to build relationship with people kan. Because in this life, tak boleh lah you buat kerja seorang-seorang. Walaupun you kata you boleh kerja online ke apa ke, you still have to work with people kan. So the challenge among young graduates now, right, when they first start entering their employment, when we give them some tasks or some job or projects kan, they're not able to start the meeting, but they're not able to call for a team because they don't know how. All this why team dia semua universiti yang set kan. All this why team dia semua kawan-kawan, housemate, roommate dia je. Tapi bila dekat tempat kerja, kita suruh dia buat satu team. Okay, I want to organize farewell. Dia nak start farewell party, nak cari team pun dia tak pandai. Kan? So this RQ ni yang dia tak practice daripada zaman university. So these are the things that you can practice lah on how to stay relevant. Actually, if you can do all these 7 lah, if you can try all these 7, insyaAllah, you'll be relevant. Don't worry about the new skills, new competency, new digital. Those things will always coming. If you learn something new today, there will be something new again tomorrow. It is never ending. The requirement is never ending. There's always something new coming up. But if you have these ways of doing things, you have ways to stay relevant, insyaAllah, whatever coming, you'll be able to persevere. That's all. Thank you, Mas.
Inshallah, that's true, Pak Tam. And I'm so attracted to the point number 3, which is we live to learn. That is so true because until the end of our life, we are going to keep learning new things each and every day. As long as we live, we are going to learn because learning is a lifelong process, I think. So I think that's all from the audiences. So before we end our program today, let's have a simple takeaway from Pak Tam. What are the simple advices that Pak Tam would give to those who will graduate soon and embark on their career journey? Because these audiences today comprised from final year students of diploma and also degree. Over to you, Pak Tam.
Okay, I have these slides. Yang ini belum publish lagi dekat LinkedIn. This is a new content in my pipeline. InsyaAllah we publish soon. Okay, this is actually a toolkit. Toolkit for final year students preparing you for job hunting and first job. Okay, as a final year students, before you graduating, you must have all these 10. First one, you must have your master resume by now. This is a master resume, meaning that you have a piece of paper that recorded everything that you have achieved in the past 4 to 5 years. Because by the time you graduated, you already forgot everything that you have done in the past. Then when you start doing your resume, you forgot. You try to remember, what have you done the past 4 years. Time flies, okay. Dan tiba-tiba you lupa semua benda kan. So create that master resume from now, okay. Normally bila teringat je you tulis, teringat je you tulis, teringat je you tulis, or else you will easily forgot about it. Second one is get recommendation as many as possible. You can use recommendation letter. You can request for recommendation letter from your lecturer, from your advisor. Kalau you join clubs tu, at the end of your tenure tu, you ask lah for recommendation from your advisor. It can be in the form of letter, it can be in the form of card, email pun boleh, tak ada masalah. Or you can use the recommendation part column in the LinkedIn. Is very useful as compared to cover letter. In Malaysia, we believe more in recommendation, which is testimonial lah. Kalau beli barang kat Shopee kan, you baca review dulu kan. Recommendation lah tu. The people punya review tu is the recommendation. Okay, so it's even better, useful than cover letter. So don't focus too much on cover letter. Focus on recommendation. Get as many recommendations as possible from your internship supervisor. At the end your internship supervisor, minta lah recommendation letter, minta recommendation email or card, tak kisahlah. Jadi there's something written about your performance, okay, in the past few months, for example. Simpan benda tu, but because by the time you graduated, you will lost contact with all these people already. You will not be able to get a good recommendation. Okay. The third one is create your personal portfolio from now on. You can create through blogging ke, blog ke, letak dekat blog, letak kat website, letak dekat LinkedIn. As long as it's an online punya platform that you can store all about your achievement in the past. Because lepas ni you lupa dah. Tiba-tiba hilang dah you punya assignment, hilang your publication. So store somewhere online kalau boleh. Number 4, get your letters transcript. Ni senang lah. Every semester, normally I will request for letters transcript. Every semester I minta transcript. Sebab you can use that transcript anytime. Okay. Number 5, get your professional photo sekarang. Ambil gambar sementara masih kurus ni, nanti dah grad dah gemuk. Kan? Sementara masih happy, muka masih kurus, cantik semua kan. Get your professional photo sekarang. Ambil gambar. Use it for your resume, for your LinkedIn. Jangan guna gambar pasport, gambar nikah, gambar register matrik dulu, gambar zaman sekolah kat mana, jangan. Create a new professional photo sekarang. Number 6, startlah beli formal attire kan, kemeja. Kalau dulu tak pernah beli kemeja, now dah kena start beli kemeja. Invest more in white shirt, biru. Kalau perempuan pun baju kurung kan, whatever formal attire that you consider. Your blazer, dah kena start invest in blazer, jacket kan. Number 7, start to enroll into industry-based training. Ada banyak. All this while you learn about from academic point of view, educational point of view. Now try to look at from industry point of view. Okay, whatever that you learn at the university, try to relate to industry punya content, dan you pergi training online, industry-based punya training. Number 8, start contact balik. Okay, reconnect balik with your network, your previous network, your previous connection. Say hi. Normally kalau I say hi to my connection pun, I bagi Happy New Year kan, Selamat Hari Raya. That's how you keep your networking and connection. Bukannya bila ingat connection, bila nak cari kerja baru cari connection. Bila nak jual insurans baru ingat balik siapa kawan aku dulu, aku nak jual insurans ni kan. Masa dah ada kepentingan baru nak minta tolong kawan kan. So maintain your networking connections, your professional networking connection. Say hi, like their contents and all. Maintain your professional networking. Number 9, you dah kena start pergi career fair, have to start attend this coaching session macam ni kan, or attend any coaching session organised by the university, or you can find your own coach dah sekarang ni. Go to career fair not for the sake of minta kerja je. Ramai orang pergi career fair semata-mata nak minta kerja. But for final year student, you can go just to learn, just to read, just to speak to the industry punya people, just to understand what they are doing, so that you have better understanding. This is you punya preparation before you graduate. And last but not least, create your LinkedIn. Okay, manage your social media wisely. Use it to your advantage. Okay, janganlah benda tu memakan diri sendiri. So make full use of the social media. So this 10 toolkits ni, kalau you dapat, you ada before you graduate, insyaAllah this will prepare you for your job hunting and also your first job. That's about it. Thank you, Maslina.
Thank you so much, Pak Tam. I'm looking forward for this to be posted on your LinkedIn. I was sure going to repost it. But before that, I'm so attracted with the background of Pak Tam, which is great. Graduate readiness for employment and training. Can you explain a little bit about what GRADE is, Pak Tam?
It's a great initiative. No, this is just a brand. This is just a brand about what I'm doing lah. The resume writing, whatever that related to employment readiness for the young graduates, so like resume writing, interview preparation, understanding personality, personal branding. So all my content I put under one brand. I call it Great lah. Itu je. It's just a brand. It's just a title of all my content, which is great. So whenever I'm going for a career talk ke, webinar ke kan, so I will bring this content lah, great ni kan. I hope someday I can get a copyright ke kan, patent ke some of the content tu kan. So it will be under great punya initiative lah, brand. It's just a brand lah maksudnya. Okay?
All right, thank you so much, Pak Tam. That is so awesome. I think brand is very important because it shows our credibility and our niche, our what's something special about us. So time flies so fast. I'm so sad that we reached to the end of this program today. But before that, I would like to say thank you to Pak Tam for accepting our invitation to be the speaker today, and also for the very great content of sharing. I learned a lot of things today, and sure I will post this on LinkedIn, and I will take
No
Pak
problem.
Tam.
No
And
problem.
thank you to all the audiences that attend to this talk today. May we gain lots of benefits from this program, and good luck for future endeavor. May we become successful in our future career. And thank you everyone, and thank you Pak Tam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you everyone. Bye. Have a great day.